Every phone call, every AI breakthrough, every modern car runs on one thing: semiconductors. Tiny pieces of silicon, barely a speck, quietly power almost everything you touch today. In offices worldwide, glowing screens drive the engines of business and innovation. At home, entire families are connected through phones, tablets, and glowing televisions. And on the roads, every journey guided by chips in cars and networks above. And that tiny speck underpins trillion-dollar supply chains across oceans. Most of those chips are born far from American shores, which is why where we make them suddenly matters more than ever. A lifeline glowing across the planet, every connection powered by chips. Ships, ports, and factories, billions of chips crossing oceans every single day. But that lifeline is no longer just trade. It's the circuitry of our world itself. And in a single moment, that fragile network can shatter overnight. In Washington, a decision was being written, one that would shake the industry. A single sentence powerful enough to redraw the map of global trade. September 2025, a blunt ultimatum from the White House: bring chip making in America or a 100% tariff. Would this bold move bring jobs back home or push global technology into chaos? Chips are everywhere, powering the smartphones in our hands, the dashboards of electric cars, and even the fighter jets that guard our borders. They run algorithms behind AI and the sensors that manage energy grids. Without semiconductors, city lights flicker out, phones fall silent, cars stall, modern life collapses. The US invented the integrated circuit in the 1950s and once dominated production. Today, about 90% of the world's most advanced logic chips are made in one place: Taiwan. Taiwan's TSMC powers nearly every iPhone. Apple designs the silicon and TSMC fabricates it in Taiwan, billions of transistors at nanometer scales. The A-series is born in those fabs, not on the assembly line. That precision sets the iPhone's performance ceiling. TSMC's foundries run around the clock to meet Apple's demand. Finished chips head out by the millions. Samsung is one of the world's biggest suppliers of memory for servers. It ships DRAM and enterprise SSDs to data centers worldwide. Alongside SK Hynix and Micron, it builds a major share of what keeps the cloud running. China has poured billions into its own chip industry, from sprawling new fabs on the city's edge to humming clean rooms within. America leads in chip design, from breakthrough architectures to the chips that power AI at home and in the cloud today. But much of that silicon is built overseas, in robotic clean rooms that never sleep. Trump's message was blunt. If you want the US market, build factories here, bring production stateside, or expect tariffs on what you import. Exemptions apply to 3 players: TSMC, fast-tracking US fabs; Samsung, building major capacity in Texas; and Apple, already investing here at home. Supporters call it bold. Critics call it protectionism. Either way, the stakes are high. Winners include American states, gaining jobs and investment. Losers include consumers, importers, and overseas firms, as exports slow and import costs rise. For companies caught in the middle, the ultimatum is simple: adapt or pay the price. Wall Street reacted instantly as semiconductor stocks surged. But as details trickled out, uncertainty set in. How broad will the exemptions be? And will the tariffs withstand legal challenge? Analysts warned higher prices could weaken demand, while others argued reshoring might strengthen America in the long term. For investors, the only certainty was volatility. Abroad, the response was fierce. Asian economies that depend on chip exports sounded alarm. European leaders warned this could be the beginning of a trade war. China condemned the move outright, framing it as economic containment. And across the developing world, leaders feared they could be priced out of the digital revolution. One announcement in Washington sent shockwaves around the world. But could Trump's tariffs withstand legal challenges? Under Section 232, the president may impose tariffs on national security grounds. Trump had used this power before, imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum in 2018. Critics argue semiconductors don't meet Section 232 national security threshold. Challenges are already in motion. Many expect the Supreme Court to have the final word. If the tariffs are overturned, the government could face refund claims totaling hundreds of billions of dollars. What began as an economic gamble could become a defining chapter in America's struggle to secure its technological future. The stakes are bigger than tariffs. They touch on power, security, and the next century. At its core, this fight is about more than trade. It is about who commands the lifeblood of modern innovation and who sets the rules for the digital order. Whoever controls semiconductors controls artificial intelligence, advanced weapons, and the digital economy. It is a race for supremacy, with consequences far beyond borders. America doesn't want to rely on rivals for the chips, powering its defense and future technologies. For Washington, self-reliance is now a national imperative. Tariffs may be blunt instruments, but they reveal a deeper truth. The lines between economics and national security have blurred, and technology now shapes both battlefields and markets. Factories are breaking ground, subsidies are flowing, and alliances are being tested. Yet the race to secure supply chains is only just beginning. Critics warn tariffs may raise costs for consumers, spark retaliation abroad, and even slow innovation at home. Every action carries a price. Supporters insist it's the only way to push companies to build in America, bring jobs back, and secure independence from foreign rivals. In boardrooms, strategy sessions unfold. Executives weigh compliance costs and political wins, knowing the world is watching their next move. For chipmakers, Washington's decisions are not distant politics. They are business reality, shaping billion-dollar bets in the map of global production. The semiconductor wars are just beginning, and this first strike will echo for decades. What happens next could define the balance of power. In the end, one question remains. Will these tariffs spark a stronger America or ignite a conflict the world is unprepared to face? In Washington and beyond, the question triggers recalibration, tighter policies, hedged alliances, and quietly rerouted supply lines. Across the U.S. grid, the switch flips from policy to power. Substations energize and the real test begins. The tariff is only the opening move in a struggle that will decide who controls the engines of the digital age. The outcome will shape economies, militaries, and lives. China accelerates subsidies, Europe debates unity, and Asia's fabs ramp up production. The semiconductor map is being redrawn in real time. Investors, workers, and governments wonder the same thing. Will this spark innovation or fracture supply chains beyond repair? For the U.S., this is more than economics. It is about survival in the digital century. A wager that technology and politics can be forced to align. The world watches as America and its rivals gamble with silicon, sovereignty, and the future itself. The semiconductor story has only just begun.